right, good morning everyone. Welcome to Commissioner's Court, and it's 9:01, I think. I was taking care of a parking lot problem. Let's begin now, if you'll join me, and let's stand, have a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, we thank you for a new day, a new week, and we just pray for this Commissioner's Court meeting that we would handle the business at hand appropriately with your guidance. We thank you for those that join us together. We thank you for this great city and county, and we ask for your blessings upon the people that live and work here. We just pray for these elections, Lord, that we'll have a smooth early vote over the next couple of weeks and successful elections, and we just again pray for those that participate in this process. Lord, we ask your complete protection on those that serve our country abroad, wherever they may be. Please comfort them, care for them, bring them home safely. We pray for this agenda, Lord, and just ask that you now take over and preside over this meeting. In Christ's name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, once again, welcome. Today is the 24th of October, 2016, and it's 9 o'clock, and this is our last meeting of the month. We'll begin with item number 1, public comments, requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. I've asked for 2 folks that would like to speak. Do you want to speak on any particular agenda, or would you like to make use of this time right now? Bobby Joe, I'll let you go first if you'd like.
Right now, fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on up to the podium. Good morning and welcome.
Judge and Commissioner's Court, I'm Bobby Joe Spearman. I have been elected and served as constable in Precinct 3 and have been a deputy constable in Precinct 1 for the last 4.5 years. Having witnessed your Precinct 2 appointed constable frequent use of the deputy constable's car, I am requesting clarification on the rules regarding the appointed constable's use of that vehicle. The county cars for the use of the deputy constables, and the constable, I understand, has an annual budget of $15,000 for a car allowance for him to use his own personal vehicle to be reimbursed. The use of the county and personal vehicles has never been an issue in Precinct 1 that I know of, and it's not been an issue in Precinct 2 under Cleveland Johnson when he was constable. Rest his soul. But as I stated, standards, acceptable practices are not being followed by the constable you have appointed. I believe the use of a county car, county fuel, while receiving a car allowance is a breach of ethics.
Thank you. That's something that I can look into, and I will. Ms. Chisholm, would you like to come up at this time?
I would.
Hello, I'm Janice Chisholm. I'm a taxpayer and a county resident of Titus County. My question is, there's a lot of people confused about the voting, you know, because they come into town and they see a sign that says for better roads for. They get into town, they get the city limits almost, and they say no, you know. So we've got a lot of confusion out there, and I was wondering, is there any way under state law here that we could kind of slow down on confusion? I'm not a rocket scientist or the brightest bulb on the block, but if somebody isn't watching, they are not understanding no, for, and we've got everybody carrying. You know, now we got Mount Pleasant carrying, we got Titus County carrying. Would anybody care to help straighten this out, kind of? That's all I'm asking. And another issue I have is with the word democracy, according to Mr. Webster, everyone is supposed to be involved to make it work, okay? I realize that Texas is the lowest voter turnout. But what I'm asking is, on the alcohol issue, that is only for the city to vote on, okay? But on the roads issue, we got the whole county voting. I'm sorry, but some of those people in town that are going to tell me what my county road looks like does not know a county road from a state highway, much less anything, I mean, you know, what's going on. So what is the law, or where does this come from on the jurisdiction of who votes and stuff? I mean, it's very confusing. I mean, you know, and I'm the one that harasses you guys regularly, so I kind of know a little more than some. I'm sorry, I thought I'd crow.
Well, I think we all agree that this is a unique situation and that you've got a couple of propositions and you see some various signs without full explanation as to what's going on.
Right, you've got one saying Prop 1, one saying Proposition 1. I mean, you know, I don't know.
Well, when you actually go to the voting box, and I've looked at the ballot,
okay.
I believe at that point, if you were confused when you came in, I don't see that there's any way that you could confuse the way that the propositions are worded on the actual ballots. Now, you're exactly right. Only city residents are going to vote on the alcohol proposition. They'll have a separate ballot for that. However, the entire county votes on the roads. Now, as far as why can a city person vote on your county roads? Well, I'm a city person and I drive the county roads. I'd like to be able to, you know, voice my opinion on that. And I certainly pay taxes, as does everybody in the city pays county taxes. You know, that's just the way that it works.
The county residents pay city taxes too, okay? They pay, well, no, but we do pay for different issues. The college, the hospital, which is in the city limits, yada, yada. You want me to break that up a little bit? You know, I think you understand.
No, but they don't pay the city tax.
Well, no, but again, I mean, the county, to me, I'm saying, is getting a raw deal here, us poor little smudgekins out there in the country, because we don't get to vote on the alcohol, and God only knows the roads we need alcohol on. No, you need some alcohol to drive them, but anyway, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying that it just looks like we're not getting the vote on the alcohol, but the city votes on the you know, on our roads, and I'm just not understanding. What rule is that, or who distinguishes who votes where and what, like that?
Are we talking about the alcohol vote right now?
We're talking about who votes and how. Like, all right, the alcohol is only in town, and the roads are the whole county. Who distinguishes that?
Well, the person that did the you know, request to have the alcohol issue put on the ballot made the decision to make that a city-only question.
Okay, and so the ones that did the road did that. So okay.
No, I wasn't talking about the roads. The alcohol issue was determined by those that wanted to see it put on the ballot and put together the requisite number of signatures, determined that they wanted it to be a city only. And that means that if it passes, only establishments within the city limits would be eligible to sell that beer and wine.
Okay, then, so the county on the roads, that was the...
Okay, you want to shift over to the roads? Is that all the questions you had on the alcohol vote?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay, well, just to avoid further confusion, now let's switch over to the road question. Okay, and what is your question there? Who decides that?
Who decides who votes then? The ones that started that petition?
Well, I think it's statutorily determined. You know, if it is a county-wide issue, and it is a county-wide issue, everyone in the county can vote on that.
Okay, then you don't figure that alcohol being sold in town is not a county-wide issue?
It is not a county-wide issue by definition, because it is only going to be determined by folks, whether you agree with is that fair or not.
I'm just trying to say, where does this come from? The governor's office, Bubba, or what?
State law, yeah, that'd be the best way to answer it.
Can you give me a number? That's all I'm asking.
I can't.
Because now Floretta and we will go out and start a petition that we only want the residents between Madison and Johnson on 4th and 5th Street to vote. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or do you understand what I'm seeing here? And that's what people have been asking or saying something to me
I
about
think
it.
I understand what you're saying, but nobody at this table made that decision. Now, the city could give you a better explanation as to why it's a
That's the next thing I
city.
wanted to tell you. This ain't my first rodeo. I have had 2 county officials tell me that, well, go ask the city. And I've had 2 people at the city hang up the phone because they think I'm a Looney Tune. All I want is to ask the question is, who started this? I mean, hello, is that too much to ask? I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about the word democracy and Mr. Webster's definition.
Well, again, are we now talking about the alcohol issue and why can't
We want to know, how do you set boundaries on something like that when you get 2 issues like we got now? Because a lot of people out in the country are really not having cameras when they don't get to vote on one, but they have to vote on another, and then they're looking at their city council authorities. That's all.
Well, granted, it's a bit confusing, but that is the way the state law works, and no, can I give you a statute? No, I can't.
I should find out the number of that state law, you know, seriously.
Any elections coming up soon.
Well, that's what I was told, go ask the city. And then the city told me to go ask the county. And I'm standing there harassing you guys this morning, I'm sorry.
I would say the Secretary of State could probably answer that. I don't know if they'll give you an answer that gives you comfort.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, either one of the issues are big to me. I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but I mean, you know.
No need to be sorry.
Well,
It's,
I mean, no, but they're, you know, they're not earth-shattering, but I'm just.
it does seem a bit unfair that a county resident, a non-city resident, shouldn't have a say-so in that alcohol vote, but
Yeah, I mean.
we did back in 2009, but not in the most recent vote last year and in this year, because they narrowed the scope, hoping to get better results.
Yeah, we'll vote till we get it right. I got the program. No, but I was just wondering if you knew any of the state law, because I mean, you know, when you have 2 county and 2 city officials hang up, when you ask.
I don't know it to quote the statute, but I do know that they're abiding by the law, and they're doing it the way that it's supposed to be done.
And it is the Secretary of State, is where I call.
It'd be a great place to start. All right, and then I had one more, Ms. Baxter.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just simply wanted to know who was on the library board representing the Democratic Party.
We have no idea. I mean, we have no say-so on who's on the library board, to my knowledge.
Well, that's customary, and I believe it's a part of the way it's set up. But I will see where I should go to do a further investigation on that. And
Talk to Mr. Aarons, the city manager, and I don't know who's on the library board. I couldn't name you one person. Now, maybe the librarian is, but I don't even know that, but I bet she could tell you who's on the board, and I don't even know if that's who nominates those people.
It's the commissioner's court. Each person that's on the commissioner's court that is a Democrat picks a person, and the Republican picks a person to be on the library board. That's the way the procedure is. However, I'll investigate it further, but I just want to echo on what Ms. Chisholm had said about the fairness of us not being able to vote since we're in the rural area. I too would like to know who sets things up and the signs out for and yes and all. It's a bit confusing. I've had several people calling me wanting an explanation for why these signs are set up the way they are. And I don't know who sets the signs up, so I really couldn't answer the question, you know. And I would like to know too, who is it that puts these propositions together? Who is it that makes the decision on how they're placed on the ballot? I just voted, and I understand what you were saying. It was clear I was either for or against that proposition, but I had that one proposition there. Now, a person coming in from the city with the 2 proposition, I don't know how that ballot style looks. And will it be confusing for them? But a person I talked to the other day was wanting an explanation or something, some type of paper to show why it's saying up there why kids no, or why kids vote yes. And if you you can become confused and thinking, if I vote, if this is for the kids, oh, sure, I'm going to vote for it because it's for the kids. They're being deceived, and because then you turn around and say, for the proposition for the roads is for better roads. Okay, people are going to say, if this is for better roads, then yes, I'm going to vote for it. Not knowing the underlying information about why that proposition is on the ballot in the first place. And we have a problem with getting information out to the voters. And I think this is very important because the voters are the ones who put you in office. The voters are the ones who are paying your salary. Shouldn't you be very, what does the word say? Very concerned. That's the word. Very concerned about how the voters view and do certain things because you are working for the voters. Okay? That's my thing. And my thing is that when they go over there to the polling place to vote and they look about and they see how the situation is there. Now I know I didn't put that on the schedule about how they have to wait in line and et cetera, et cetera. You know, remember the voters. Commissioners, please remember the voters. Thank you.
Well, you know, I think that any citizen can go through the proper procedures. Commissioner Riddle, can you give her some insight as to how the unit road vote comes to be and how that starts? Maybe, you know, maybe that would help explain the process.
First of all, if both of them are Prop 1s, but as you say, if you get a sample ballot, there's only one thing on the city ballot, and that's the liquor. Then the other ballot has all the items on it. So the unit road system is a modern style of managing your roads as opposed to the old ways, and the state provides a statute for that to happen, and it has to be approved by 10% of a amount of people to get on the ballot.
But who initiates that process? Anybody that wants to, right?
Anybody that wants to, I guess, to get on it. It's only way it'll get on the ballot. But it's like the election office. Why couldn't we have given those a different prop? I was involved in sending a email to the paper to say confused yet, you know, and to try to explain it. I don't know whether they'll charge us or they'll do it as a public service. We hope that.
Do Proposition 1.
But they're on two separate ballots. They are on two separate pieces of paper.
And the election board, I guess, decides that. They couldn't have given it a different number. Would be a good, if it could have, would have helped, but I don't have, the commission don't have any control over that. Well, I guess the judge is on the board, but no one else is.
No, sir, I'm not on the board.
No, you're not. Well, he's not. See, well, I didn't know that. I know that.
Well, I guess, you know, maybe you as party chair and Ms. Evenwell as party chair could, let's remember what we went through here and maybe have a strategy the next time there is an election and maybe come up with a good media campaign that makes this crystal clear. Well, I agree. And here's another one I'll throw at you. Do you know on Tuesday, actual voting day, are you aware that the only place to vote on the liquor vote is at, I think, at two different polling locations?
Well, why is that?
One is in the city, one is in the city.
Because it's a city election. Well, again, I don't know who makes that rule, but I just happened to read that in the paper today, that if you are voting in a city election, you have a limited number of locations. And that's the way that it always is. If there's a city election, which are typically, I think, in the springtime, you don't have all of these 16 or 19 voting locations available. You have a limited number because it's a city-only election. This time, the city is asking for the services of the Elections Administration to assist them in this vote to make it more efficient, which is a good thing. But Yes, you're all right. It is confusing.
When you get the answers, would you please pass them on to us?
Well, again, tell me what answers I'm looking for, because
Through that certain areas, you know what I mean? Certain areas for the liquor, and certain areas, you know, like the countywide versus just the city.
all right.
And who sets the boundaries, you know what I mean there? Is there a board that says you can do it with just the city? Because you're kicking those little convenience stores out of the city, out of the county, when you're doing just city for liquor, you know what I mean?
No, we're not.
Well,
We're not. The person that applied for and got those requisite number of signatures made that decision. It's a strategic decision. They limited it only to the city because they felt like, and this is what I heard them tell me, was countywide, their chances of that passing were less than if they narrowed the scope and had a city-only election.
okay, now reverse that for the road situation, and you just got your answer too.
Well, could I say this, Judge? The city people pay county tax just like we do out in the county. So they should have a say-so in the county.
I want to say so, and I live in the city, and I travel a lot of county roads.
You might get with a newspaper, kind of talk to them about it. It is confusing. The main thing you want the people to know, if you do vote this way, you're voting for it. If you vote against it, it's against it. Yes or no, you're voting. It just needs to be explained a little bit better. But
I would hope these people can think when they get to know.
well, sometimes, you know, even the state will put amendments on there and stuff, and you got to vote yes to vote no, and vote no to vote yes. It's confusing. I think they can do a much better job. You know, are you for this is what we're voting on, yes or no? Period.
Well, that's part of election strategy too. You know, you can use these confusing issues to your advantage or suffer disadvantage, and that's up to you as to how well you want to promote your position. So,
I've had some folks that have said something to me about it, and they said, "Well, we live in the county and we shop in town."
Yeah.
And I said, "I know, but that's the way it was set up. That's the way."
What I'm saying. I mean, you're getting what I'm getting. I've had a couple of you know.
let me think on it. See, maybe I don't know how much a letter to the. Well, my idea might be have a central location where there could be some clarification. Perhaps that's a newspaper ad, perhaps it's a letter to the editor, perhaps it's a Facebook page. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. Which, we could get the Goodyear blimp maybe to come through. I don't know. You know, these are questions that now that you're going through this election and you see how confusing this is, if we could have backed up a month, maybe we could have had a public information campaign that would have made this crystal clear. But we do know that the folks that show up to vote that don't live in the city are not going to be given a city ballot. That's going to take care of itself. And if they do get a city ballot, and if they can read and they choose to read it, it'll clearly state on there that it's about alcohol. It has nothing to do with roads, and so I don't think you'll be confused there. Conversely, the county voters will have the opportunity to vote on that road decision. I think it'll be clear in the way that the item is worded on there as to whether they want to approve the optional road method. So.
The problem with that is that if they see that and they're a layperson and haven't been involved with this, they don't know the underlying part about the road system. When you see that where it says you want better road, yes, of course you want better road, so you're going to vote yes. But you don't know about the other part that the Commissioner Riddle was speaking of about hiring someone to come in and et cetera, et cetera. That part, I don't think the general public really knows that because I haven't seen anything that explaining that to everyone, and that's why some people were calling me, asking me just exactly what does that mean? Does that mean we're gonna get better roads? I vote yes on that. Well, you know, that comes into interpretation.
Did you attend the public forum last week?
I did not, and the reason I did not was because I already knew what was going on.
Oh, but I did.
Maybe not.
Oh, I did.
Well, the public forum, I think, explained that. For those that wanted to know more, they came. For those that
Were you there?
didn't know, I was not there. See what? I know, I didn't need to be informed.
And I knew, and some other people didn't have.
Well, again, it is an educational thing.
They're gonna, with the hostility, they're gonna say, we're gonna get rid of those commissioners. Watch it, Judge, you may be next if they're.
That could, they have the right to vote that. They have the right to vote any way that they choose. Let's hope that they understand what they're voting for. All right. Okay, will y'all promise me one thing, to please show up at the next city council meeting? Okay? Chew on them a little bit. You know,
City council. See, aren't you sorry you opened your mouth?
no, I'm not. I'm not. It is a good thing to discuss, and these guys, I'm sure they're going to get an earful too. But this is how we educate one another, and this is how we make sure that everyone knows as much as they can. Sir, ma'am?
Yeah. You have Mr. Webster's book, that's the word democracy in it. Some of that. Now, when's the city council meetings?
They're on Tuesday nights, but I don't know which nights they are. We'll find that out.
Tuesday night.
Will you go and call them, 575-4000? Let's get that out there.
The hospital board is the last Monday of the month. I figured that out. That has to order every
Okay. All right, anyone else on this subject? Any other public comment? All right, we will move on to approval of the minutes from our last meeting on the 11th of October. That was our first meeting of the month, our regular meeting of the month.
Make a motion to approve minutes.
Thank you. Commissioner Hinton makes that motion to approve, and a second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, item number 3 and 4. I've brought to you here some slate of possible holidays for 2017 on item number 3. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at that or not. We've tried to go as closely as I could to match what the current year's holidays are. There's the same number of holidays there. If there is any shuffling around that you want to consider. Okay, is this the Tuesdays? First and third Tuesdays of the month. So we may have missed 24th, 25th. 6 p.m., I do know that. Is tomorrow I think tomorrow should be the third Tuesday.
I think you're right.
They do? All right. Be there in force. No, tomorrow's the fourth Tuesday, but tomorrow's the fourth Tuesday.
On their website, they've got it tomorrow night. They have this.
Oh, sure, we just thought liquor was the problem.
Okay. It's showing October 24, 6 p.m.? 25th, 6 p.m.? I don't know why that's a special night. Maybe it's a special called meeting. Anyway, back on our county holidays, I don't think I've slipped any surprises in there on you. You'll see that the 2017 New Year's Eve is not included on there, as we have kind of deviated that for the last couple of years. So the 31st would be on a Monday, and the New Year's holiday there toward the end of 2017 would not be until the following day, the first day of 2018, which would be on a Tuesday. But this particular calendar right here does reflect Monday, January 2, rather than the 1st as the proposed holiday, since January 1 falls on a Sunday. So that's a little bit different there for you to consider. I don't see anything else on there that is a bit awkward other than, oh, I do see something else. Christmas, if you want to give 2 Christmas holidays, we suggested Monday the 25th, Christmas Day, and then Tuesday the 26th, rather than that Friday before. But that's something that you might want to consider. Any comment or discussion on there? This is our time.
I like the way you got that 24th and 25th set up. I don't have any problem with it, Judge. Motion, adopt these 2017.
Okay, Commissioner Fields makes the motion that we adopt this 2017 Titus County holiday listing that includes 13 paid holidays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor of the approval of this calendar here for 2017 calendar year, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll move on to item number 4, consider and possibly approve the Commissioner's Court schedule. And again, pretty straightforward here. Look down there on October 6th or 10th. Now, we can wait until closer. Of course, we can always even change it. But there on October 6th or 10th, we've got a Monday holiday there, so I'm giving you the option Friday meeting prior to the holiday to have Commissioner's Court, or Tuesday, as we did back a couple of weeks ago. And then same thing there on Christmas. You would either have a Commissioner's Court meeting on Friday, the 22nd, as you're preparing for your 4-day weekend, or come back after your 4-day weekend for a meeting on the 27th.
I personally like the Tuesday and Wednesday instead of the Friday. Really doesn't make any difference, but I like the Tuesday and Wednesday because if it's on a Friday, it may have family plans or fixing to go somewhere or do something. So I make that motion. I'll second it. Sir. I'll second it. Okay.
Second it with those 2 optional dates being on the Tuesday. Is that what you're including, the 10th and the 27th?
It'd be a Wednesday, actually.
Yeah. It'd be Tuesday.
Tuesday on October 10th, and then Wednesday, 27th. And see, I like having it on that Friday so I don't have to think about it all weekend. Everybody's got their own opinions. But anyway, I do have a motion by Commissioner Fields and a second by Commissioner Riddle to approve these dates, and specifically October 10th being the Tuesday following the holiday, and then December 27th, Wednesday following the holidays. That is the motion and the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
But Judge, we come up and there's something we need to change. I don't have.
Sure, we can always change it if something does come up. Item number 5, consider and possibly approve renewal of an annual maintenance contract for our cameras with Newman Electronics for $5,800 to be paid out of the security fund. I do want you to know a couple of things. First of all, we're running behind on the actual dates. This should have been done back in the spring. Dennis admittedly forgot about it. I forgot about it. So the period of time still stays the same, and that is March 1, 2016, and through February 28th of 2017. We have not paid for this current year that began March 1 and ends February 28th of next year. And this is a one-time payment that's normally paid at the beginning of the period. So again, we're several months behind, but have not made that payment. Since we last did this, we have significantly increased the number of cameras, and as you'll recall, we also added to this system the ability for multiple people to be able to view multiple buildings' cameras. So again, a significant increase in the number of cameras and a significant increase in the capabilities and the software and the hardware attributable to our audio and video surveillance systems. This price is $5,800 per year, and we would owe this upon approval of this contract.
Make a motion to approve renewal.
Motion's made by Commissioner Hinton for approval.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Judge, you might also, if you get a chance, you go by and see Paul. He's got those cameras, and anything going on in this courthouse, he's got a camera to look at, and I think that's great.
Yep, it's a nice system. He's got multiple computer screens there that gives him a real wide view of a lot of things going on in all of our buildings. All right, these next two items are going to be kind of dull, but item number 6, open bids, review, and possibly award for elevator. I have got one unopened bid from Krupp Elevator. I contacted the 4 big companies, as you'll recall, Mlod and Simic, that was here a few weeks ago, told us about those big 4. I did research that. He was absolutely right. There are 4 big ones. They all have offices in the Dallas area. I contacted all 4 of those. I was led to believe by 3 that I would get a bid. The 4th one never did respond back to my email or voicemail. One did not provide any bid even after a follow-up contact. I have this one from Krupp, and then the company that Mr. Simic works for, I called him this morning after he assured me he would have it to me by last Friday. I didn't receive it. So I called him this morning prior to the meeting, and he said, well, as we speak, I'm working on it. I should have it ready by noon. Well, I said, that's going to be too late. He said, well, I've got a number right now, but you're not going to like it. I'm waiting on a different price on a particular item in hopes that I can get this price a little bit cheaper, but I don't have it ready yet. So I told him, and I'm asking you to, let's consider tabling this. I hate to open up just one bid on a potentially $80,000 item. I would like to get at least 2 of these, and certainly would like to get one from our current elevator company that services our elevator. So I'll ask that you table that, please.
I make a motion, we table it.
Motion is made by Commissioner Parker to table our elevator bid decision, and second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And then on item number 7, consider and possibly approve lighting and ceiling fans for the county courtroom. And here's where I am on this. I'm not even going to mention any prices because I was a little bit shocked by the price that I got back on some lighting and ceiling fans, and I feel the need to get at least another price. I also want to sit down with the company that gave me this current price. I just got it over the weekend, have not had a chance to discuss it with him just briefly. I want to know why that bid is so high. I want to see what his prices are for labor and for materials. What he was proposing was to replace the 4 corner lights with new LED lights that would flip on and come on immediately and would provide roughly 3 times the light that those 6 lamps are providing right now out of just 4. And then the 2 center pair he would replace with a ceiling fan. And they need to be at the same height so that you don't get that strobe effect of a fan turning near a light. And then he was proposing replacing these here with new LED fixtures that are brighter, and then adding some new additional cans up there. But I thought y'all might be upset with me if I gave you the price that he had quoted, so I'm going to hold off on that, if you will allow me to, until I can get at least another bid or a proposal for changes to our lighting and our ceiling fans. Now, if y'all are perfectly happy with what we've got, tell me, and I'll quit spending any more time and effort on this. But he measured with his tools the amount of light that we have in here, and with light meter equipment, we're way underpowered as far as lighting. That goes for out there, and it goes for up here. We survive with some additional daylight, but this is a dark courtroom in my opinion. If y'all are okay with it, let me know, but we have lots of other things go on in here that go on all day long, and you get a good cloudy day, and it's just it's a dark room. So, that said, what would you like for me to do? Is anybody perfectly happy with the way things are and would like to just leave it alone?
I make a motion, we let you go ahead and pursue this a little farther.
Okay, table this item then.
Table it.
Okay, motion to table by Philip.
I'm happy with the way it is.
Okay. Got a motion.
I don't have a problem going ahead and checking on prices, but regardless of these out here, this has got to be fixed.
Well, when you say fixed, tell me what you mean.
We got one line out here, and from what I remember seeing is that it was going to come down. I don't know who you're talking to, but Mr. Ed Dodson is the one I talked to, and I thought that was already done. It's just never been fixed. So.
Well, it's strange that the lighting all begins at the halfway point. Why it doesn't continue on down there, I don't know.
Anyway, I don't have a problem getting this, you know.
Is that a second?
Get some quotes and go from there.
Okay, is that a second to table this? All right, got a second. All in favor of tabling this with the instruction to pursue getting an additional bid or bids for this work. I'll make that part of the motion. If that's okay, say aye. Aye. Opposed? I think Commissioner Riddle, you're opposed since you like it the way it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be done. You can increase the lumens on these lights, and a lot of things that can be done to improve them without going through that great expense. But that'd be pretty practical, and that's not a common good thing around.
Well, that was the charge that I gave him. I didn't tell him any particular thing to do. I just said, here's our situation. What can you do to improve it? And I think he's considered all kind of things. You can't just go and put a higher watt bulb in these lights. They're a very particular kind of light. Here you've got the maximum watts that you can have in that particular fixture.
All of that's true. But I've been watching a lot for various reasons in my home and so forth, and pricing LED lights. I'm telling you that they've gone down in the last 12 months by 80%. you can get one for 20% what you could for a year ago in lights. And I think that to jump up and go do that without waiting to see, because, I mean, they're just totally going, I mean, you wouldn't believe how they've dropped. And I've replaced these lights with LED lights. I have similar of these, like 37 of them in my house. And it's, I can get 4 of them or for the price of less than what I paid for one as I started replacing them. Instead of using this fluorescent or whatever it was called, as I need one, I replace them with LED, and that's how much they've gone down. In another year, I think they might be going down even more, because that's going to be the only light, I believe, that's available. That's the reason I'm in no hurry to get this done right now.
I don't think that, although I have not seen a breakdown of his prices, I don't think it's the actual bulb up here that's the price. It's the replacement of the fixture. But again, I've got to see what his numbers include. I just don't know.
Yeah, and it is a fixture. Mine are like this, but there's a fixture that goes in there that replaces these bulbs, like this.
Okay.
But
all right.
But that is included with the bulb, I should add.
Well, I'm going to certainly ask that he find us the most economical way that he possibly could to get us some better lighting, and if we can't get an economical price, then it will be up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it. All right, we move along to item number 8, consider and possibly approve travel and seminars. Did I not bring that in? I apologize. Would you get those off my desk for me? Let me jump ahead to item number 9, approve oral and written report. No, here, Carolyn, here they are. Carolyn, I've got it. First item is from our clerk. First 2 items, and this is Joan is asking to send Paula Herndon to 62nd Annual Vital Statistics Conference in Austin, and that's December 7th, 8th, and 9th, with travel on the 6th and 9th, $250 registration, $140 in per diem meals, $486.45 in hotel accommodations, taking a personal vehicle 314 miles times 2, total approximate cost $1,215.57, and this is mandatory training. And then Joan is requesting to attend County and District Clerks Association Conference put on by the Texas Association of Counties in San Marcos in February, the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, with travel on those same days. Well, you're going to leave early, aren't you? Cost of registration, $180, $160 in per diem meals, $420.90 hotel, and 696 miles, or a total approximate cost of $1136.74. This is from the sheriff. We've got, we want to send Elisa Bryson and Teresha Knox, dispatchers, to take a state exam for telecommunicator. That is a $25 each cost. Take that at NTCC. No travel involved there. The same two, he would like to send them to Public Safety Telecommunicator Basic Course. It is an online course. It's a $100 registration, resulting in a $200 cost for that. So you have taking the state exam for telecommunicator along with the online course. For those two brings the total to $250 total to cover both of those. And that's all I have.
Make a motion to approve travel.
Motion by Commissioner Parker, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 9, approve oral and written reports.
Make a motion to approve reports.
Motion's made by Commissioner Hinton to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 10 is to consider our treasurer's report. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton for approval.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. Christie, would you refresh me again? What is the source of revenues that goes into that victim of crime fund? Do you know? All the different courts there, and what?
We have quarterly reports that we send out to the state. We get it admin fee, and most of them, like a 5 to 10%.
Do we have to send them the bulk of this?
Yes, sir. And right now, we're working on this quarter's, this week, we'll be sending those out.
So that it builds up and then it takes a big drop. All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Who was the second? Was it Commissioner Parker? Yeah. All right. Item 11 is approved budget amendments. There are none. Are you pretty well finished with the fiscal year?
Well, what we'll do is we'll make sure we've got any old bills in, and then we'll make final adjustments, changes to last year's year.
Hopefully through November, because I'm trying to get them to come audit us in December, so I'm hoping for Thanksgiving you get all this.
Yeah. We'll try to make sure that
Okay. Since there are no budget amendments, I'll move on to item 12, sign pay orders and approve payments.
Make a motion to pay our bills.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Closing comments, if any. I've got a couple here. Need your attention on this one. Think back to the presentation from from John Martin talking about the bonds. And as you'll recall, in order to move forward with the refinancing of these bonds, they had to achieve several objectives, one of which was we had to realize a savings of at least 9%. We had to achieve certain thresholds, I believe, in terms of of interest rate and to accomplish that. And here's what ended up happening. We had about $49 million worth of bonds, 49 million that we were trying to get refinanced. And John, in the last few hours or in the last couple of days, said that, you know what, the interest rates have crept up a bit. We were kind of afraid of that, and we feel like this is the best move for the county, to let us go ahead and refinance part of these bonds, but let's wait and see if we can't find a better opportunity on the remaining bonds. And so what we ended up doing was selling refinance bonds on a portion, just over half of these bonds, and we're going to hold off on about 20 million. So basically we took care of about 30 million of the roughly 50 million, but have held off on the other 20 million. Now the risk is that the interest rates continue to climb, and we should have taken that deal, but they strongly believe that as we get past the election that there will be continued low interest rates. Everything indicates that. But when you get down to trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve, you know, even the smallest denomination of interest rate adjustment can make a big difference. And he felt like we would have been cheating ourselves had we forced the sale on that other 20 million. And so therefore I made the decision to take their advice and only refinance 30 of the 50, and then we are going to continue in the days, weeks, months ahead to look for that other opportunity to refinance the remaining 20. So we have not realized our full potential for annual savings of around 400,000, but it's more like 2/3 or more like 3/5 of that, since we only refinanced 3/5 of the bonds, or 30 million out of 50 million. So I did leave you the details of that in a memo, but that's basically what it boils down to, is we didn't get the entire job done, but we decided we'd be better off waiting and hopefully find a more opportune time. Let me tell you about an opportunity coming up on November the 4th. That is a week from this Friday. There will be a lunch at the Civic Center. And this is put on by the chamber, and they called this the State of the Economy Luncheon, I believe is what they've called it for the last couple of years. At this time, and I was given the privilege of helping choose the speaker, and I suggested to Katie Stedman with the chamber that we invite David Dean. David Dean is the owner of Dean International Public Policy Consultants out of Dallas, and they are the primary driver behind Text 21 that we have been a part of. And David has been an invaluable source of information to counties, cities, municipalities up and down Interstate 30, as well as other roads across the state, and was instrumental in helping us get the I-30 coalition put together. And as a result of his efforts, I believe, eventually this resulted in the I-30 corridor study, which is nearing completion here by TxDOT, along with a working committee that I happen to chair. So David is going to come and talk, and his topic for discussion is going to be the importance of and the benefits of having Interstate 30 going right through Mount Pleasant. And he's always an excellent speaker. Transportation is something that interests us. Interstate 30 interests us. I would strongly encourage you guys to consider coming to this lunch a week from Friday, November 4th at 11:30. It'll probably go from 11:30 to 1:15. I think you'll find it very informative, and I think it'd be great if we could all attend and perhaps even sit there together as a show of support. But a great opportunity for our community to get David to come and speak. and I think you will like this. I just came back from Austin, where we had a Text 21 meeting with a variety of folks at the Capitol last Friday. They always put on a great day and get us hooked up with just the right people down there at Austin, especially when it's in when we're not in session down there. You get to cover a lot of ground. So thank you for allowing me to go to that. The I-30 corridor study, we've had 3 live meetings. We've had 1 seminar over the internet where we wrapped up basically our comments provided to TxDOT. And I'll hold off on giving you the results of that study for now, but I think that Titus County is going to fare very well in the what comes out of the I-30 corridor study. I think we're going to see some significant things happen in our town in the next 4 years. Several things are slated to come out of that study. So very glad that we've been able to participate in that. I'm very glad I was asked to chair that committee, and I think that we'll be very pleased with some of the results that'll come out of that. That's all I have. Commissioner Parker?
I don't have
anything.
Good.
Commissioner Hinton?
I have nothing to
Commissioner Fields?
One thing I have, Judge, is we finished up our asphalt work through FEMA, the programs we're trying to finish up on. I've got one other thing. I got one culvert that I replaced, but it's got to have concrete work done to that, and I'm trying to find somebody that can do that. It's not a big job, but we should be able to finish it up in the next month or so. It just takes a little time, but it's what took so long was one of the big things was we had to wait to kind of where we knew what FEMA was going to do and what we were going to get. Then when we got on the list, you had to wait another month or two, about 2 months is what we had to wait before they could get to us, the people that had the quote or bid. So anyway, it's going. It's just took a little time, but it's doing good right now. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Riddle?
Yeah, a couple of things I'd like to address. One of them was about the constables driving, getting the 15.6 car auto allowance, we call it, but I don't know whether the public's aware that we got over $100,000 of people that get that. And it's just, in my opinion, was a way not to be transparent because it's just salary. Like the commissioners go to school and get reimbursed, like I get reimbursed for my mileage, they still get the 15.6. And we take out, the county takes out Social Security and Medicare, so that's another almost 8% that it cost us, besides what we give them. So I don't know why, I do know why, it's trying not to be transparent to the taxpayers how kind of salary these elected officials make, is my opinion of it. And then the second thing I'd like to address is I've talked to people about why we don't get bids when we put out bids, and the perception is that we're just, they tell me, Titus, they already know who they're going to give them to. It's just the cronyism we're accused of. Whether we're guilty or not, I don't know, but I think we should be aware of that accusation, and that's the general public's opinion about us, this Commissioner's Court, that it's already decided who's going to do it. And I think we should guard against that.
Can you give me a recent example in the last couple of years of that?
No, I can't. I'm not going to give you the companies that told me that, no, to answer your question.
My question is, what has prevented anybody that wanted to bid on a county job from bidding?
Well, you said you called last time on knocking that door through the wall over there. You just called people. You should have put it in the paper. You should try everything you could. I mean, I think you should have. This is my opinions now. You ask me.
That's fine. Do you realize we've never gotten one response to a newspaper ad?
That's the reason that I asked that question to several people.
And what was their
answer? The answer was, they've already decided it don't do any good to answer that question, to do it. And I do know of the fact when we built the adult probation, and Mr. Basham we got him take the bids, and He decided he didn't decide, he told us what the bids were, and that was, we got to decide which ones it was.
Well, after all that, I learned something from that, and I made a commitment to doing whatever I could do to expand our bidding process, and I still say that's what I want to do. I would be happy, in fact, I would love it if you would take over that bid process or be my advisor, whatever you want to do to solicit the maximum number of bids from the maximum number of people. I don't know what else to do, but I'm all ears when it comes to suggestions. I'll be glad to talk to any of these people that you're talking about too, that don't feel like their voice matters. I'll be glad to run as many ads as you want me to run. What else can I do is what I would ask you. And I mean that sincerely. I have nothing to gain by limiting the number of people that participate in this, but I contacted business people, construction people this last go around for this simple little door job and asked anybody, can you give me the name of a contractor so that I can include them in this process? And as a result of that, I actually met for the first time somebody I had never heard of, Randy Teal, who ended up being the winner of this bid. So we are making some headway here, and if you've got some ideas, I'd love to hear them. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. All right. We will adjourn if somebody would like to make a motion.
So moved.
Motion and a second by Commissioners Hinton and Parker. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Appreciate your coming here today. Have a good day.